Clock. And fellas, we're second week of the year of the semester. Let's start there. But we have some On the Clock history to get to. And that is Mr. Jordan Ziegler setting the new single-week record for points in a week, topping my 7 with 8 in the last week. Mr. Jordan Ziegler, congratulations.
Thank you. I know a lot of us never saw it coming.
No, nobody
ever.
did.
Mostly because he didn't know who Bradley Beal was or like any of these guys that he was betting on.
Especially when all the bets were NBA ones.
And you had no idea what he was talking about.
Zero clue. But you know what? It worked out in the long run. So
at the grand scheme of things, let's make sure we have everybody updated with the scoreboard. So let's throw that up there. Right now, I am in the lead with 10 points. Jordan is right behind me, as crazy as that sounds to say, with 8 points. And then Dylan is in third place. Not too far behind with 7 points. That scoreboard said 6, but it's 7 points for Dylan. So we're all pretty tightly packed in together through the first 2 weeks. And, of course, you've got our theme. Our theme this week is Super Bowl. We'll get to that later. Right now, we've got our regular locks. Dylan, you are the leadoff hitter. What do we got?
Absolutely. I'm going to try to take a huge lead this week. I'm going for 13 total points between my 3 locks.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy week. I think I got it going, but I'm going to take a huge lead this week. I'm going to start off with Xavier. I took a -7 in this game. They were -6, I believe, to start off the line, but I got them at -7 a little bit later. Sule Boom has led that team with 16.3 points per game and 5 assists. This team's got 5 seniors with the 7 players they really play. So they play very, very well together. They've played together for a long time. So I don't see a problem with Xavier winning this game by 7. Butler, who has lost to Providence by 21 and UConn by 30, two of the top teams in that conference in like the last 3 weeks, where Xavier has beaten both those teams in the last 3 weeks. A 7-point spread, I don't even see a problem with that, even on the road. Give me Xavier all day. And then I'm going to go 2 parlays. This is how it's going to get kind of crazy this week for me. I'm going to go a little bit of Rangers split here. So I'm going to go.
This is just a bad take automatically.
Ranger, okay. I
have
not seen this yet. What is
I like how Ziggy is leading for like 1 week, and
he's not even leading. I'm leading.
Oh, he's not even leading. Oh, Jackson's still leading. Okay, good. I'm fine with Jackson leading.
He's not even
I'm
in the
used
lead.
to that, but. I'm going to go Rangers. Look, Rangers versus the Kraken tonight. That's why Ziggy's.
It's a bad choice.
That's why Ziggy's talking to me right now, and I don't even want to hear. But
in the Kraken.
Look, the Rangers had a day off. The Kraken played last night in New Jersey, lost 3-1 last night to the Devils. The Rangers had an off day, beat the Canucks a couple of days ago, now moving back home. The Kraken, a solid road team, but they have not been playing up to par even close. Even at home, they haven't been playing up to par. The last 2 games, they lost to the Islanders 4-0 in the New Jersey last night. If you want to go back to their last road game, it was about 3 weeks ago against Edmonton, and they lost there 5-2. The only teams they've beaten are the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Vancouver Canucks, 2 teams that are not very good. So I don't see a way that the Kraken beat the Rangers at home coming back. Give me the Rangers there. But then I'm going to switch it up on you guys. Tomorrow night, the Rangers play again. They traveled down to Carolina to play the Hurricanes, who, in my opinion, the second best team in the NHL, just behind Boston. At home, they are the second best team at home behind Boston.
PNC Arena is going to be rocking.
Absolutely. So on
a Saturday night.
Rangers not fresh. Hurricanes are going to have 2 days off, so I'm going to go with the Hurricane 6-minute money line there to complete that parlay, 5 points. Then my next parlay, it's going to be a little bit miscellaneous. I'm going to start off with something that breaks my heart because I'm a Chicago fan, but I got to go with the St. Louis Billikens in this game against Dayton. It's a huge game, trying to make the tournament. Both type of bubble teams.
He's just fading me right now, to be honest.
St. Louis and Dayton, neither of which are teams in Chicago.
Yeah, but Chicago against St. Louis, dude. It's a St. Louis-Chicago team, or St. Louis-Chicago rivalry. Did you not realize that? You not realize that? Not Dayton.
In Ohio.
Not Dayton. Oh my God.
Dayton.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm from Chicago. I am from Chicago.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
They have a rivalry with St. Louis. So taking St. Louis hurts my heart.
Okay, you should have started with that.
Gosh. All right, boys. Still waking up on a Friday morning here after a good Thursday night out here.
I'm actually doing just fine in first place. Anyway, go on.
But, I'm going to go St. Louis +7. I took a couple points on them. They're a +5. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I took a couple points up. They're playing at Dayton. It's a big game. I think they're going to keep it close, cover that 7-point spread. And then I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs -1.5.
Always a
tonight
risky
at
team to bet on.
Columbus.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, I wanted to take their 60-minute line. It was minus 170. It was a little bit too low there. So, but I'm going to take them minus 1.5 at Columbus. Columbus obviously at a home team. They are one of the worst teams in the NHL, but they could cover a game against Toronto. But I'm going to take a team who's been playing well and consistent all year, being really a consistent hockey team for the last 5 years. So I'm taking minus 1.5 tonight.
That's solid. Jordan, your 3.
Yeah, so I mean, Veen has like 2 that are just completely the opposite of mine. One of them
So
is
you already have
Kraken.
2 losing picks. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I did that last week.
place? Who's in last place?
I did that last week. I had 2 fades of Jordan,
it
and they both
wasn't a
lost.
good
You
idea.
didn't say who's in last place. You took picks on guys you didn't even know. You didn't
And
even
they
know who
hit.
Bradley Beal was.
And they hit.
Like, oh my.
Either way, Kraken money line plus 155. You guys know I had to do it. They play tonight on the road against the Rangers, as Veen mentioned. Kraken have been carried by their offense pretty much all season, 3.5 goals per game. They only have scored 1 goal in the last 2 games. They're more than overdue to have a good night offensively. Jordan Eberle and Matty Beniers are both overdue for a few goals, so I'm confident in that.
Seems like you want an over.
The Kraken play really well when they're plus money, so there's one. The one pick I agree with Veen on is I have Xavier minus 6.5. They're a really, really good team this year. They're 20% better offensively than the average college basketball team, according to KenPom. So they're going to put up a lot of points. They also average about 71 possessions per game, which means they're going to put up even more points. The over is probably pretty good for that as well. Butler is not a very good team. Xavier is a really good team. I could see them being a Final Four team, to be 100% honest. I think they have no problems against Butler tonight. And then finally, I'm taking the Flyers. Dayton Flyers minus 5.5.
Loss.
Great
Loss.
A-10 matchup tonight
A-10,
against
baby.
St. Louis. Dayton has a top offense and defense, according to KenPom. St. Louis is actually a spot ahead of them in the A-10.
The Billikens.
So it's a
It's a big time A-10 game. So
it is a
it's
big
huge.
time A-10 game.
It is a big game.
And that is in Dayton as well. That's a home game. So that's going to help out a lot. Dayton is 30 places better than St. Louis in KenPom rankings, which, you know, is a lot of places better to only be favored by 5.5 points. I got the Flyers, and, you know, Veen took St. Louis as well, so I feel even more confident that Dayton's going to win this game by like 7 probably.
Careful, this is probably going to miss because you actually know what you're talking about with this game.
That's
So
actually a
careful.
good point.
So
That's
careful.
a good point.
So careful.
But yeah, so that's my 3. Jackson, you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, we're sticking with some Friday locks. We've got my boys. We've got Kent State, the Golden Flashes again, minus 4 at Buffalo. I love Kent State. Don't really know why, but they seem to cover spreads at a pretty efficient rate. They're 52 spots ahead of Buffalo in KenPom, and you expect me to believe that they're not going to cover a 4-point spread? None of it. I'm not having any of it. Roll Flashes. Next, Youngstown State. Now let me tell you a little bit about Youngstown State. You're like, what? Like Youngstown State? Where'd you get that from? The mighty Penguins have won 9 of their last 10 and 12 of their last 15.
Is that actually their logo?
Yeah, the Penguins.
It's the Penguins?
Yeah,
Is it the Mighty Penguins?
That's
No,
awesome.
I call them the mighty Penguins.
Oh, they're not the
9 of their
Mighty
last
Penguins?
10.
They're just the Penguins?
They have won 9 of their last 10 and 12 of their last 15. They are balling up right now. They are at IPFW. That's
What the
Indiana,
heck?
Purdue, Fort Wayne. And so that's like 3 different universities all combined into one. So like I don't really know what IPFW is. So give me Youngstown State minus 4 too. And then
goodness.
lastly, a team I'm pretty familiar with, the Milwaukee Bucks. I have their money line. They're 5-0 on the second legs of back-to-backs. Jack McGarr will have more about this a little bit later, but they're undefeated with Chris Middleton on the floor to this point of the season. That's 14 or 15-0. I can't remember what the number is, but it's a 2-point bet. They are an underdog tonight against the LA Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers. I am more than confident that the Bucks are going to get this done at Crypto.com Arena, but on a different floor because they were there last night on the purple and gold floor. They'll be there tonight on the red and blue floor, beating the Clippers. Speaking of NBA, Jack McGar's got a ton more about it in his Freaky Friday NBA picks. Stay right here.
Yeah, I always just clap at this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part's the most complicated one?
It is.
If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go.
Just clapping now.
No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Mine was just two people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just
I don't know the
Sorry.
head.
It's hard by yourself.
What's up, guys? It's Jack McGar again. I know the Super Bowl is this weekend, but I'm going to stick with what I've been good at all season long, and that's the NBA. I've got 5 plays for you today on the NBA. There's a huge slate and a lot of money to be made. I'm going to start with the first leg, though, and that's what Jackson Reed just said, the Bucks plus 2.5 against the Los Angeles Clippers. I know they just played last night, and I know it's on the road, but the Bucks, in my opinion, are the best team in the league. I really don't see how they don't win this game outright, let alone cover a +2 spread. Giannis Antetokounmpo has continually dominated every team he plays against, and the Clippers are no different. The Clippers, in their last 15 games, have allowed the most points to all power forwards, which is, of course, the position that Giannis plays. And Ivica Zubac is going to be the only guy that has any real defense against Giannis. And we saw last game that they played the Clippers. Giannis put up a 50-piece against them. I kind of expect that again today. I don't know if he puts up 50, but I expect another 40-plus point game from Giannis. I'm going to easily take the Bucks money line tonight against the Clippers. And yeah, as they said, 5-0 against on a second half of a back-to-back against the spread, so easy win here. Now the next pick I have is the Mavs -1 against the Kings. Now, just 30 minutes ago, the Kings were favored -2. This means now Luka is probable against the Kings. He's still recovering from his injury, but he is expected to play. I think this pairing of Kyrie and Luka is phenomenal. You saw last game against that the Mavericks played that Kyrie single-handedly beat the team that they were playing, and that was without Luka. Adding Luka to this team, having the 2 best ISO players in the game, in my opinion, is going to be absolute chaos for the Kings. The Kings also allow some of the most points against point guards on defense, and Luka and Kyrie, of course, are dominant on offense. I don't really know why the spread's so low. I know they're at Sacramento, but the Mavericks just have too much firepower on offense. I don't really have a problem taking this line with or without Luka, but if Luka plays, I'm happily taking -1. The next play I have for you is the Cavs -3 against the Pelicans. This is probably one of my least confident plays of the day of the 5 that I have here, but I do like this play a lot. The Cavs, sadly, are 3-7 against the spread as a road underdog, but this is a different circumstance. They're fully healthy with a lot of weapons against the Pelicans. With the Pelicans being a little bit banged up, they don't really have any defense against Mobley or Allen, with Valanciunas being really the only big man that they have, with Herb Jones being pretty much their next biggest player on defense. I think Mobley and Allen have a really great game today. And also the Cavs are top 5 in fewest points allowed in their last 15 games against point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards, meaning that CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram are going to have terrible games tonight. I think the Cavs did win by 10 last game they played the Pels. That was at home where the Cavs are a lot better, but I still think the Cavs win pretty easily here. I think Mobley and Allen have a great game. I think CJ and Brandon Ingram both struggle. I'll take the Cavs -3 easily. Expect almost a 10-point win from the Cavs tonight. The next play I have for you is the Celtics -11 at home versus the Hornets. I don't love this play a lot because the Jaylen Brown is hurt and Tatum is questionable. But if Tatum plays, I do like this play a lot. Tatum has a great matchup against this Hornets defense that really has no care in the world about winning games anymore. They're tanking for Victor Wembanyama, and it's pretty obvious. They just traded away arguably their second-best player in Mason Plumlee to the Clippers for absolutely nothing. They do not want to win games anymore. LaMelo Ball is actually really struggling after his injury. I think that's going to continue tonight. Celtics -11 is a big spread, but again, Tatum has a great matchup against a really bad Hornets defense, and they're at home. I know Jaylen Brown's out, and if Tatum plays, I would not take this play. I would wait to know that he's actually playing in this game for me to take -11. But if he is playing, I'll pretty easily take Celtics -11. The next play I have for you is a player prop, which I really, really love tonight. It's Jeremy Grant over 5.5 rebounds tonight against the Thunder. The Thunder are the worst rebounding team in the entire league. They have absolutely no height on the entire team, and Jeremy Grant is going to have a lot more opportunities today because Josh Hart was just traded. Josh Hart was really stealing rebounds from the entire team. He brings a lot of hustle to that Blazers team, and Jeremy Grant being the biggest guy on the floor in the entire game, he's going to have a lot more opportunities for 6 rebounds. I don't really feel like 5.5 is a lot. He has only hit this line in 2 of his last 15 games, but that's because he just hasn't had the opportunities because of Josh Hart and the matchups that he's been going against. But against the worst rebounding team in the league and with Josh Hart out and traded away, I think Jeremy Grant has at least 8 rebounds tonight. I think 6 is very easy. If you parlay this all together, you get plus 2,900 on DraftKings. I'm going to take them all separately and sprinkle a little bit on the parlay. I do have one last future for you, and that's the Dallas Mavericks to win the title at plus 1,600. Again, as I said before, this pairing of Luka and Kyrie is actually phenomenal. I think they work really well together as 2 ISO players. I feel bad for any of the other players on that team that will not get the ball almost ever, but I think those 2 guys are just really hard to stop for any defense. You can't really double team one because you have another guy on the floor. So I think the Dallas Mavericks have a great shot to win the title, and I think this is the best odds that you're going to get from any team that has a real logistic chance to actually win the title. I like plus 1,600 for the Dallas Mavericks a lot. Those are my plays for you today. We'll be right back with the boys later.
Of teens are cyberbullied. 95% of teens say they have an online presence. 23% of students say they have bullied someone. Before you post, think, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Or is it kind? For more information, visit stopbullying.gov.
So fellas, obviously, in case you've been living under a rock, the Super Bowl is this weekend, and so that is our theme for the week. It's Super Bowl bets. I'm going to go first, and so pretty simple. I don't want to be that guy that has the boring picks, but I do have the one boring pick, and it's the Chiefs money line. Like I like to go crazy proppy and all kinds of stuff with the Super Bowl, but let's keep it pretty basic here. I have the Chiefs money line. That's a 2-point bet. They are an underdog. When I took it, it's plus like 102. So it's barely under the radar as a 2-point bet.
I want to see the screenshot of that one.
It is.
Interesting.
No, he's right.
It's an underdog bet.
I'm sure
it's an underdog bet.
It's a bad bet, but
I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Like I cannot bet against it, and I'm not going to bet against it in the Super Bowl. But more importantly, this is the more important bet. Give me tails in the coin toss. It's got to be tails. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, heads just hit 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. I don't care. Tails never fails. Didn't your parents teach you that when you were in school, kids? It's tails all day. That's all I have. Those are my 2 bets. That's obviously not an underdog. It's a 1-point bet. Give me tails.
Well,
He's going to pick heads, isn't he?
yeah. Moment of truth.
I'm going to go my boring one first. I'm just going to go my class one. I'm going to go Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. It's like minus 130.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I
like it.
Travis Kelce just a nonstop. Can't stop him in the passing game, and I think he's just going to in the end zone. Mahomes is going to target him in this game. They're going to have probably 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game. Probably 3 touchdowns in this game. So one of them is going to be Travis Kelce for the Chiefs.
I would agree.
And then my fun one. Heads.
It's
It's
It's not going to be heads.
It's hit 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't even know that until I said it.
Yeah, well, and now I know it, and now I'm going to use it again. So 4 out of 5 times in the Super Bowl. That's going to be my main point now. And then also,
my main point now.
well, come on.
I didn't
come
even
on.
know about.
No, heads. Would you rather have head or tail, Jordan?
What?
Come on,
Wait,
Ziggy.
oh, hey, I
Would
don't
you-
want to be dragged
Yeah,
into
exactly.
this.
Yeah,
What
no.
is
I
even
wanna be-
Yeah, you just
talking
want to
about?
stay out of it. You just want to be an innocent bystander.
I
in
will
all
be a
this, don't you?
bystander on this one.
He's not going to watch the coin toss. He's going to turn it on with like 2
however,
minutes into the game.
if I had to answer, I think tails is the right call.
Yeah, it has
I
to
think
be.
tails is
Both
the
of you
right
guys are just
call.
going to be proven wrong.
I'm going
Both of you
against
guys are
you,
going to be proven
Dylan.
wrong.
Pulling up a coin flip on my computer. It's
What is it?
tails.
There you go. It's going to be tails.
Whatever.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Whatever.
I will also get my boring one out of the way first. I have Eagles money line directly against Jackson. It's minus
Perfect.
125.
Perfect.
It's 1 point. How did betting against me last week work out for you?
How did betting against you for the whole calendar year has worked out pretty freaking good for me recently?
That's a fair point. However, it's a new me. New
It
year,
is a new
me.
Jordan.
And anyway, the Eagles have the best O-line in the league. Chiefs have a banged-up wide receiving core. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, a bad defensive line versus a good offensive line. It's just a mismatch. I mean, that's all there really is to it. So I like the Eagles to win it all. And then my more fun one, we decided like right before the show started that this is worth 7 points.
Yep, that's
it's
true.
not heads or tails. It's not Gatorade color. It's a player. It is Miles Sanders to win Super Bowl MVP at plus 2,200 odds. There's only been 7 running backs in the history of the Super Bowl that have won the MVP, and Miles Sanders is about to be the 8th. He was
Who
a
was the last
1,000-yard.
one? Who was the last one?
Yeah, who was the last one?
No clue.
I don't know either.
He was a 1,000-yard rusher this year, but more importantly, the Chiefs are going to have to sell out to stop the pass game for the Eagles, which means the great offensive line for the Eagles against a bad defensive line for the Chiefs. Miles Sanders is going to run crazy. He's going to have like 3 touchdowns this game and over 200 rushing yards. It's going to be a career game in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
There's going to be no other choice but Miles Sanders to win MVP at the end of the day. It's going to be worth 7 points when it happens.
It was Terrell
Interesting.
Davis.
It's so interesting because the Chiefs have a top 5 rush defense.
In
but then they have, like, a
1990
They haven't
bad
gone against an
pass.
offensive line like
So,
the
like,
Eagles
interesting.
before.
Whatever.
In 1996, Terrell Davis won.
See,
the
we're
Super
well
Bowl MVP.
overdue for running back.
And the
to
year
win
before
MVP.
that, Desmond Howard won it as a kick returner.
Nice.
So I'm not ruling anything out.
Exactly. Anything could happen.
Who knows? But fellas, this is going to be a fun weekend in sports. It's a great weekend in sports. Waste management, as I've already touched on, Super Bowl, NBA, NHL, college basketball. It's a great weekend to be a sports fan. It's a great weekend to pick sports, to bet on sports. It's a great weekend for all of that. I'm so pumped for it. Make sure you tune in to the socials, On The Clock KU. Bunch of fun stuff there as always. Thank you guys for tuning in on The Clock. We'll see you right back here next Friday.